everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Just got out of the gym and currently on the way home. Gym went very well today despite my back and my legs being very sore. It may result in me taking a very light day tomorrow, but I was able to get in a lot of work today and all the work that I was really planning on doing, just not anything too extra, besides a little bit of arms, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. So I started out the workout with some clean and jerk work with a clean pull, a clean, pause jerk, and jerk. With the first set with 135, I just did 2 sets of 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, so 1 of each. Then with 165, 195, I did 2 reps in 1 set, so a 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. I don't know why that person was honking. Hopefully not at me, unless they want to throw down. I don't know why they'd want to throw down though, because I'm too jacked and tan to be thrown down with. That's really weird. I'm confused. Off track, out of focus. Let's get back to it. So after I did the 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, I went and up to from 195 to 225 to do with just ones with all of that. So ones with each one of those, and then to 245, which is extremely difficult to do, especially the 2 jerks. Very difficult to do because I have weak shoulders. But the reps went really well, the form went well. I tried to really keep myself calm and collected when I was doing the jerk and really force myself to wait longer than what I have a tendency to. I have a tendency to rush with both the clean and the jerk, but with cleans I'm able to recover a lot easier than I am with the jerk. When I go early with the jerk, then things get really wonky and don't really work nearly as well. But if I'm able to wait, I'm able to throw the bar straight up, able to get under it relatively well, and things generally go better. And I was able to do that today. I was very happy with how my reps felt. I did not look at them yet, but based on how they felt, I pretty much know I didn't jump back too terribly much, and that's my big tendency to do on the jerks when I'm super early. So those went well. Then I moved on to front squats. They went really well. Despite being, like I said, sore, my lower back and stuff, I was able to really focus on flexing my lower abs, which was actually able to support my lower back a little bit from that natural arch that I have. And I was able to go up to 315 for a double. And it was very difficult. I was grunting a little bit, actually a lot, let's be real. And I was able to get both of those reps, a little bit of a grind, but I felt like they probably looked better than they looked. Like I said, I have to look at the video. I don't really generally look at video too often, unless it's with form that I'm trying to see with the snatch and clean and jerk, which is, even then, it's pretty rare because I can usually feel what errors I'm making. I don't need to look at the video. Sometimes it's nice to confirm it though, with video, which I'll do from time to time. But the double on front squats went really well, relatively speaking, for being sore like I am. And 315 is really high relative to my max too of 345. So I'm definitely happy to do that for a double. I don't know what the most I've done with 315 is, but I've definitely done more than 2. For sure I've done a set of 3 at least once, and it might have even been more than that, but I don't want to say that for sure because I don't know. I just know I've done more than a double. After I did front squats, it was accessory work time, so I went over and did some rear delt flies. I did them with the dumbbells again today. I think I'm going to continue using the dumbbells because I'm able to overload the movement a bit easier than if I'm using plates. I feel it with the plates fine, but with dumbbells I'm able to hold it easier, so that I'm able to use more weight while maintaining my form easier. It's not so much the grip that is an issue. And it's not even that the plates are too difficult to hold, they're just awkward because you're holding it in the hole that normally the bar goes through. So it's a little too difficult, and it's easier with the dumbbells, and I can do a bit more, and it's going to be more beneficial, I think, to use a bit heavier weight as long as my form's not breaking down. I did those. I did a set of lateral raises with 20 pounds, which actually went really well. I haven't done those in a while. Just did 1 set of those, and then I did a couple sets of hammer curls, which I did a little bit of curls on Sunday, but those were not really serious curls. These I went up to 45 for a set of 5. Not the cleanest form, but the rest of the form that I did was relatively good, and I was happy with how those felt. I don't want to do a ton of biceps. My goal really, anytime I do curls now, is to work on strength and not to do too much hypertrophy, because I don't want my biceps necessarily to grow too much in size, but I would like them to grow in strength. It's always going to be beneficial to be stronger, not necessarily to have that, because it's going to make the front rack position more difficult. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my workout for the last 20 seconds of this segment, but I do want to transition to talking about someone that I met at the gym today based on the shirt that he had on. But that was really about it that I wanted to talk about with my workout. So in the next segment, I'm going to talk about that person. So I will talk to you all in just a sec. like I mentioned in the last segment, I wanted to talk for a few minutes about TJ, who I met today at the gym. I noticed he had a University of Akron shirt on, which down here, if you're 3.5 hours from a university, it's pretty rare to see that. I've only seen one other person with it, and I never actually talked to him. I haven't seen him in a while, and he always has headphones in and stuff, and I just didn't really have too much of a desire to talk to him. But TJ today, I asked him about his University of Akron shirt and asked him if that's where he went, and we chatted for a bit about people we knew and how he was transitioning down here, because he just got a job recently, just moved down, just found a gym, just trying to transition to living down here, much like with me, got a job, moved down immediately for the job, and then is trying to figure out everything else as it goes down, which is something I can relate to, because I got my job a week before our teacher days started, and I had to stay in a hotel for a couple days before my apartment was ready, and I had the job and I was down here. I interviewed via FaceTime, and I was offered the position later that day, a couple hours after I interviewed, which for every other job I did not get, obviously. They did not call back that day, generally. I don't think I got one call back the day of with a rejection, which I guess is kind of good. They had to think about it a little bit. They weren't like, oh my god, this guy's horrible. They actually had to think about it for a couple minutes before they said, oh my god, this guy's horrible. Hopefully they weren't saying that. Probably just really awkward in interviews and didn't have all the things they're looking for. At least that's what I'd like to tell myself. Maybe I'm just terrible at interviews. But they liked me at the school I'm at now, and that's why I have the position that I have, and that's why they seem to like me so far. But I'm a bit off track. So TJ and I talked about different things for a little bit, talked about his workouts, and he seems like a really nice guy, so hopefully he keeps coming around. It's always nice to have another person in your community, especially at the gym. It's always nice to talk to people, especially people that are in the beginning parts of their strength career, so they're really motivated and they're able to make a lot of progress, and they are able to benefit from talking to people like me who have lived for a number of years or who are a lot stronger. They can tell them some of the pitfalls or give them tips on form, and just keep them from doing the stupid things that a lot of us have done in the beginning of our lifting careers that have limited our progress or has allowed us to plateau a lot earlier than what we should have. And I've definitely ran into those pitfalls and doing a lot of stupid things, doing way too much volume to where I can't recover, and any number of things, but just trying to figure out the process and trying to streamline it for other people. It's always nice to have a common interest with people, so it's nice that I asked him about his shirt, and hopefully he keeps coming around, because he seems like a real cool guy. But it's interesting always seeing, there's a couple of people that I've met that are from up north that have come down here. Not too many. I think one was at the previous gym, and she was a CrossFit girl, and then this guy now at Akron, and every once in a while you just see someone that you're like, oh, like one person that is in the district where I teach was my next door neighbor for a couple of years in my hometown, and I didn't recognize her at all, because I was like 12 and she was probably like 14, I think, when they moved, and I was not friends with her at all. I was friends with her younger brother a little bit, because he was closer to my age and she was closer to my sister's age, but I'm not very social at all, so it's not as if I have a large group of friends that I kept in touch with. But I remember the name and did not recognize her at all. She looked a lot different than when she was younger. Not just obviously because she grew older, but dyed her hair and tattoos and stuff. Not too excessive, but I don't know. I'm a bit off track. I'm a bit rambly, probably a bit hungry, running out of all the good old calories and all that fun shenanigans. So I'm going to finish up this segment here. Hopefully you all had a good day, got all your gains in. I did some curls today, which is very rare for me, and I did them significantly, so I had an extremely productive day, you could say, or I wasted time, because curls are so unspecific for what I need to do, generally. But I do get a new phone tomorrow, so I have the iPhone 8, hopefully tomorrow or Thursday, depending on if it gets shipped here correctly, and that will be exciting. And I'll have a fully functioning phone and not have to worry about it not working at different times, so I have that to look forward to. With all that being said, I'm going to sign off here. Hope you all had a great day. Peace.